It has been recently discovered that Barack Obama is a 32nd degree Freemason at the Prince Hall Rite. This is confirmed by Eric John Phelps and Leo Zagami, two of the greatest New World Order researchers alive.
General Albert Pike is one of the most honored Masons in American history. He is one of two Masons who had the honor of being buried in the House of Temple in Washington, D.C. Pike was a Confederate general who was noted for his atrocities against Union troops and Native Americans. He founded the Ku Klux Klan. He was the highest-ranking Mason in America. He was also the supreme Luciferian pontiff, which means he was the highest-ranking Satanist in the world. He is also the author of Morals and Dogma, where he admits he worships Lucifer numerous times. He was the only Confederate general to be buried within the city limits of Washington, D.C. And he is the only Confederate general and KKK member to have a 50-foot statue in his honor within Washington, D.C. The guy was a racist, the guy was a war criminal, the guy was a Satan worshiper, and this is the most honored Mason in American history. Why would the Masons honor such a man? Because Masonry is not of God, it is of the devil. Once Albert Pike opened the door, a wave of occultists began to enter Freemasonry, such as Arthur Edward Waite, 33rd degree. He is the author of the New Encyclopedia of Masonry. He also wrote the Book of Black Magic and Pacts, where he gladly tells you how to sell your soul to the devil. Then we have Bishop C.W. Ledbetter, 33rd degree, who was the Archbishop of the Liberal Catholic Church, which is a branch of the Theosophical Society founded by Luciferian Helena Blavatsky. C.W. Ledbetter was a pedophile. Then we have Aleister Crowley, 33rd degree. He bragged he was the Great Beast, 666. He was described by the world's press as the wickedest man alive. He claimed to have done 150 child sacrifices in 1 year. He was a devil worshipper, but the Masons were happy to let him into Masonry. He had so many Masonic degrees, the names could fill up 5 pages. Then we have Manly P. Hall, who was deep into the occult and wrote hundreds of occult books, where he as well teaches people to sell their souls to the devil. In his book, The Lost Keys of Freemasonry, he said that once a Master Mason becomes the warrior on the block, the seething energies of Lucifer are his to command. Superior Masons deliberately deceive their fellow Masons and the public by claiming to be searching for the light and giving charity. But that is just a facade to cover up their satanic roots. In Albert Pike's book, Morals and Dogma, he states that Masonry is identical to the ancient mysteries, which means all of their teachings are precisely the same as ancient pagan satanic mysteries. They worship the light bearer Lucifer, who is the father of lies. That is why low-level Masons and atheists defend Masonry, because they have been lied to. Masons ought to know and accept the truth of Jesus Christ, the true God of the universe, who they contemptuously call an inferior God, and whom they never ever mention in their teachings or rituals. If you are a Freemason, you now know the truth, and you must come to a decision. You must decide whether to follow Jesus Christ or Freemasonry. Your eternal destination is at stake. If you have never accepted Jesus Christ as Savior, but have come to realize His reality as we approach the end times, and want to be forgiven and accept His free gift of salvation, you can do so in your own home. Once you accept Him as Savior, you are born again and saved spiritually. On what is now known as the High Satanic Holiday, May 1st, 1776, a man by the name of Adam Weishaupt formed the Order of the Illuminati. Adam was a Jesuit trained at the University of Ingolstadt in Bavaria. Using Jesuit mind control techniques and high-level Masonic secrets of immortality, he infiltrated Masonic lodges all over Munich, Bavaria, and France. His group's goal was to ultimately rule the world, leading us to the conclusion that he was a fanatic with a really dark plan. It culminated in an event where they desecrated the Notre Dame Cathedral, enthroning a half-naked woman on the high altar, and crowned her goddess of reason, putting a torch in her hand. And again, that is the origin of the Statue of Liberty. To this day, Freemasonry is deeply connected with the Illuminati. On the 32nd degree Scottish Rite certificate, you will see an all-seeing eye, and under it, it reads Ordo ab Chao, which is Latin for order out of chaos. That is the current philosophy of the New World Order. It means you artificially create a crisis, then provide a solution to the crisis to achieve your goal.
It'll take time to restore chaos, and order out of chaos, but we will.
For example, the crisis being 9/11, and the goal being to get permanent military bases in the Middle East and have our freedoms chewed up.
A federal judge in Oregon is now saying that some of the provisions of the USA Patriot Act are unconstitutional.
Many people thought the Illuminati's plan and members were stopped in 1785 when a saddlebag full of the Illuminati's plans were discovered by authorities, resulting in the arrest of everyone they could get their hands on. The thing is, by this time the Illuminati so thoroughly enmeshed itself into Masonry that there was no way to tell where Illuminism ended and Masonry began. The fusion of sorcery with statecraft that Weishaupt began was brought to an even higher level when Giuseppe Mancini and Albert Pike combined it with Luciferianism, tooling Freemasonry into the dangerous machine that it is today. The Order of the Illuminati spread dramatically after 1785, and it still exists today. What happens is, when you are chosen by the Illuminati, you are brought into a whole different type of Masonry that does not involve the normal Masonry that anyone can experience. You begin to learn the secrets of Illuminism using a cell approach. That means each Illuminati member only knows 2 other Illuminati members personally. That way, if one is arrested, they can't bring down the whole organization. Now, there are 3 types of people eligible for Illuminati membership. 1. High-level 33rd degree Masons who are chosen by Illuminists. 2. People with special hereditary bloodlines and preparations. 3. People who are wealthy, powerful, or the right temperament. These are the people who don't even have to become Freemasons to join. Now, what happens when you are chosen by the Illuminati is you're brought into a higher form of seduction. They are prepared emotionally and psychologically to receive this supposed inner teaching. There's 4 steps one must take to become Illuminati. Step 1. Illumination. You are given special hallucinogens that are meant to open your third eye, giving you psychic powers, the ability to see auras, the ability to astrally project, to see the future. Of course, this is all demonic. You are to gradually go through an experience where you are literally deluged in the blinding white light of Lucifer, where you are to receive the consciousness of Lucifer, thus making you illuminated. What this means is gradually something happens to you. It's like a satanic virus that is introduced into your mind, and just like a computer virus, it begins to override the human software of your brain with evil. They experience lack of compassion, lack of mercy. They begin to look at humans like cattle or bugs. Step 2 is conversation. This means you have to communicate with the dead that are very wise. This is meant to increase your level of knowledge, wisdom, and your level of occult power, preparing you for the next stage. Step 3 is called Congress. This means you go through a ritual where you become one with a fallen angel. What happens at that point is you become so demon-possessed that you will do anything for Lucifer, destroying any bit of goodness that is still in you. Step 4 is union. This is where you become utterly one with Lucifer through satanic ritual and child sacrifice. At this point, you are so demon-possessed that there's nobody home up there anymore. Then you begin to think of things like microchipping the population and then erasing 90% of the population. Once you complete those 4 steps, you are Illuminati, and you are part of the New World Order. The Illuminati today consists of around 30 individuals and 13 bloodline families. One of the satanic bloodline families that rule the world is the Rockefeller family. They are bankers who are extremely rich, who have contributed to many anti-Christian organizations, such as the Mother Jaya worship. They support Reverend Moon from Korea, who calls himself Christ, who has set up religion promoting internationalism. The Federal Council of Churches was financed by the Rockefellers. The FCC was designed to destroy Christianity. David Rockefeller is the most prominent Rockefeller right now, and he is part of the Lucas Management, which puts out the book Externalization of the Hierarchy by Alice Bailey, which spells out the plan for the Satanists and New Agers to externalize their rule over the planet. They explain how the New Age, one world religion, one world government will be brought in. David Rockefeller is the founder of the Trilateral Commission. He is the honorary chairman of the CFR Council on Foreign Relations, and he attends every Bilderberg meeting. Another bloodline is the Rothschild family. The Rothschilds are also bankers who control the Vatican's wealth and who control modern-day Israel, helping to create Zionist disinformation such as the Protocols of Zion, which was actually written by the Jesuits. The Jews are subject to the Vatican and the Illuminati. According to eyewitnesses who were prominent enough to visit the British Rothschild homes, they are Satan worshippers who have satanic art and satanic statues in their mansions. In 1818, Karl Rothschild, son of Amschel, helped spread Illuminism into Masonry in Central Europe. The Rothschilds control nearly half of the world's wealth. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York is controlled by 5 banks which own 53% of the stock. These 5 banks are controlled by the Rothschilds. They are one of the most prominent Illuminati families. The Rothschilds have been Satanists for many generations. They are responsible for the 6-pointed star or hexagram being embraced by the Jews. Before the Rothschilds exploited the symbol, it was used by Arab magicians, Druid witches, and Satanists. Another bloodline is the Chinese Li family. They are from Hong Kong and part of the Satanic hierarchy, working hand in glove with the British and American elite. They also help run the triads all over the world. Next up is the Astor family. In 1788, John Jacob Astor was master of the Masonic Lodge No. 8 of New York City, also the Grand Treasurer of the Grand Lodge of NY, and the Junior Grand Warden. Fast forward to the 1950s, Vincent Astor is the director of the Chase Manhattan Bank run by the Rockefellers, director of the New York County Trust Foundation, director of the National Park Bank of New York, director of the City and Suburban Homes Corporation. The Astor family has connections to Satanism and the occult. In the 1700s, they practiced witchcraft and were involved in the Hellfire Club that was associated with Freemasonry. The other 9 families are the Collins, DuPonts, Freemans, Onassis, Van Dunes, Bundys, Kennedys, Reynolds, and Russells. These are the people who control the world from behind the scenes, who all have an ultimate goal, which is a one-world government, New World Order. They thrive on war, pain, and suffering. They hate people. They think they're above people. They are the elite. They start all the wars, and they are responsible for all of the billions of unnecessary deaths. These people are heinous. These people are sick. These people are demented and demonic, and they must be stopped. There are many individuals in the Illuminati, such as George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton.
You said you would go if I answered the question. All right, here's the answer. I happened to be in Europe then on my way to Russia. I was invited to go to Bilderberg by Bernard Jordan, a friend of mine.
And Henry Kissinger.
So that the problem of the Bush presidency will be the emergence of a new international order.
I'm here to tell you I'm a living, breathing example of what happens when a satanic cult abuses your children. No one would help me, even though there was a prosecution going on. They said if you ever bring up satanic ritual abuse, your credibility is lost and you'll just be a kook and it doesn't exist and it's not organized in America. Just focus on child sexual abuse. And one day the doctor said to me, I need you to come into my office. She said, this is a classic case of SRA.
And now, here's Bill O'Reilly.
Let's go to John in San Diego. What's going on, John?
Can you address the Bohemian Grove Club private presidential?
These guys in San Diego. Can I address the Bohemian whatever?
How do you feel about the private presidential resort, the Bohemian Grove, having...
All right, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care. The Bohemian Grove.
The Bohemian Club? As you say, the Bohemian Club? I've never been to the Bohemian Club.
Here's a New Statesman news report saying that Bill Clinton does go to the Bohemian Grove. Bill Clinton is a liar, ladies and gentlemen.
I've never been to the Bohemian Club.
The Bohemian Grove is a 2,700-acre secluded area in Monterey, California, where the New World Order elite go every summer. It has a wide range of attendees who have been photographed at the Grove or going to the Grove, such as the Bushes, Ronald Reagan, Henry Kissinger, Alan Greenspan, Newt Gingrich, Richard Nixon,
Walter Cronkite, Jimmy Carter, and high-level Catholic bishops and cardinals, which Alex Jones will not touch. It is an all-male organization, and it was formed in 1872. A lot of heads of corporations and royalty from around the world go there. Illuminati members also go there, such as David Rockefeller and the Rothschilds. For 130 years, the Bohemian Grove has been holding satanic, Masonic, and pagan rituals that these elite take part in. This ritual is based on Masonic coffin ritual that high-level Freemasons take part in. Here are some pictures from 1909 of Grove members killing a young black child and hanging another man. This ancient ritual is called the cremation of care ceremony. First, black-robed men deliver the effigy of a human being to the altar of the ritual site. In front of the altar in which the effigy is placed is a 50-foot idol of Moloch, the god of human sacrifice in the Old Testament. Ancient Israelites and pagans would sacrifice their children to idols of Moloch, even though God spoke to Moses and told them not to in Leviticus. Every summer, the elite of the world do similar sacrifices. After they take the effigy to the altar, someone plays the voice of Moloch.
So shall we burn thee once again this night, and flames that eat thine effigy. We shall read the sign, Midsummer sets us free. You'll burn me once again. Now for me, flame, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire.
Leviticus 20 verse 3 says, "And I will set my face against him, and I will cut him off from the midst of his people, because he hath given of his seed, or his child, to Moloch, and hath defiled my sanctuary, and profaned my holy name." So God is angry when people sacrifice their children to Moloch, or do mock human sacrifices as the elite of the world are doing. As they continue with the ritual, getting rid of their care or conscience, they mention the eternal flame, which is hell. Then they proceed to burning the sacrifice.
Begone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, dull care. And all the wind, they bury with thy dust. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free.
You will notice that the participants of the ritual are wearing black, red, and white robes. These are Illuminati Brotherhood outfits. The Black Brotherhood are Skull and Bones and high-level Masons who join the Illuminati, like Bush and Clinton. The Red Brotherhood are perfect and supreme Luciferian pontiffs of high-level Luciferianism and Satanism. The Great White Brotherhood are the leaders of the Illuminati priesthood. They would be people like David Rockefeller and Lord Rothschild. There is evidence to support that real child sacrifice and satanic ritual abuse goes on at the Bohemian Grove still. On October 1st, 1993, 12-year-old Polly Klaas was kidnapped at knife point at her home in Petaluma, California. Her body was turned over to the county coroner from the Bohemian Grove, where it was discovered. A massive cover-up took effect, and the blame of the murder was put onto Richard Allen Davis, who was sentenced and executed on September 22nd, 1996. A female witness was blocked from testifying at the trial of Richard Allen Davis. She claimed she saw Richard deliver Polly Klaas through the CIA security to Bohemian Grove members. All of this information was confirmed and exposed by investigator Bob Lewis of the American's Bulletin newspaper. After Bob exposed this story, Bush Sr. ordered his arrest, placing him into the Joplin, Missouri Federal Detention Center. Bob was not convicted of any crime. Another thing about Allen Davis, he is former CIA. This is evidence to support that Bohemian Grove members sent Richard Allen Davis to kidnap Polly, take her back to the Grove, and use her in a satanic sacrifice.
I think that that my relationship with God is a very personal relationship. And I turn to the good Lord for strength. But the God I know is not one that the God I know is one that promotes peace and freedom.
That's not, Art, don't play into it. My friend? John, I'm sorry, Art, you just pissed me off. Good morning, John.
Speaking of Satanists and worshiping goats, what about the Bohemian Grove, Rick, and the...
Up your ass. All right, that's what I say.
San Diego, John, you're on the Savage Nation.
Michael, why has information about the Bohemian Grove and George W. Bush's and Bush 41's membership been suppressed and ignored, and why is it laughed at in the mainstream media, sir?
I don't know. What is so weird about the Bohemian Grove? It's a powerful group of men who have a club. I don't understand what's the big secret up there.
You haven't heard or seen the mock human sacrifice video?
Oh, please. Come on. The mock human sacrifice. Do you have evidence of this? Is there any evidence you can post about this?
Look it up on Google. Look at Alex Jones, Infowars.com.
San Diego, KFMB. John on the Sean Hannity Show. Hey, John, how are you?
The Bohemian Grove. Have you been there? Do you know about it?
I'm very aware of it. I've been invited. I've never gone.
Do you know about the mock human sacrifice ritual?
Goodbye. This guy's nuts. Sean, San Diego, KFMB. Hey, John, how are you?
Good. Let's talk about the Bohemian Grove and the kickoff of their summer festival in July, which is a mock human sacrifice, Sean.
You're out of your mind. This guy's a nutcase.
You are a kook. You are a nut. You are an absolutely out of your mind insane. I've never been to the Bohemian Grove, sir. San Diego, KFMB. John, hello.
How do you feel about the resistance culture jamming your show and showing that you're afraid to talk about the Bohemian Grove ritual, the cremation of care, mock human sacrifice?
John, you're nuts.
Why does the major media avoid the cremation of care ritual when we have irrefutable evidence? The American media is the fourth branch of the government, and their job is to represent the people and ask the hard questions that we ask. They should have been the first ones to expose the Bohemian Grove. They should have been critical about 9/11. It is their duty to expose these people and help uphold the Constitution, instead of calling us insane for trying to uncover the truth. By now, most people know the media is corrupt and controlled. For this reason, many people don't even watch TV, because instead of exposing truth, they defend lies. And the previous radio interviews were perfect examples of this. It is obvious they are told to avoid these topics and ridicule anyone who tries to get to the bottom of things. Here is some symbolism of Moloch, the god of child sacrifice, sitting on the Illuminati pyramid in Washington, D.C. Symbolism of Moloch can be found all over America, on the dollar bill, and used for American logos. So far, we have made connections with the Vatican being involved with secret societies, Bilderberg, the New World Order agenda, and the Bohemian Grove. We have connected Masonry to Luciferianism, the New World Order, the occult, the Illuminati, and the Bohemian Grove. We have connected Illuminism with Masonry, Luciferianism, and the New World Order. And we have connected the Bohemian Grove to all of these things. There is another group that needs to be exposed, which is known as the Skull and Bones Secret Society. The Order of Death was founded in the U.S. in 1832 by William Huntington Russell and Alfonso Taft. It is the second branch of the Order of Death cult, the first one being in Germany, which is an offshoot of Scottish Rite Masonry. In 1933, a Bones document referred to the birth of our Yale Chapter 322. They were acknowledging that they are but a chapter of a secret society, which is of course the Illuminati, since we have the Freemason connection. The Skull and Bones Society is located at Yale University, in a brownstone lodge. Order of Death members participate in nefarious satanic rituals wearing black robes. This is on tape. They chant things like, "The devil equals death," confirmed in my last film, New World Order Facts. They do mock human throat slitting and lie in coffins naked, kissing skulls. One would expect insane Luciferians to do these things to this extent, but the fact of the matter is Skull and Bones produces some of the most powerful people in America. In 1916, George Prescott Bush joined Skull and Bones. In 1927, George Herbert Walker Jr., uncle of George Herbert Walker Bush, joined Skull and Bones. In 1948, George H.W. Bush joined. In 1966, John Kerry joined. In 1968, George W. Bush joined. In 1991, Austin Goolsbee, economic advisor to Barack Obama, joined Skull and Bones, as well as countless senators, heads of corporations, ambassadors, founders of companies, media moguls, etc. The Skull and Bones is subject to the Illuminati, and they are bent on having a one-world government. Skull and Bones was founded by an Illuminati bloodline, the Russells. William Huntington Russell was the founder of Skull and Bones. Brainwashed people will claim Skull and Bones is just a fraternity, and it's just fun and games and no one is serious. But there are some fundamental differences between Skull and Bones and your average fraternity. For example, its current membership roster is secret to the public, as well as its activities. Secondly, it is what is called a senior society, in that only upcoming seniors are inducted. Thirdly, they produce the most powerful people in the US, and are the only ones to mention Lucifer in their rituals. So it is not just an innocent fraternity.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
One must wonder, which oath is Bush more serious about? His Skull and Bones oath of secrecy he swore, or his oath to the American people to uphold the Constitution? If it's the oath to the American people, then why is he so reluctant to talk about a society he joined in his 20s?
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim.
There are hundreds of human skulls and bones in the tomb, which is of course illegal under Connecticut law. Why haven't they been investigated? What makes them above the laws of the United States? Why do people defend these men? And why do people allow these men to slowly create a world government? Has America been so brainwashed and hypnotized by the media that they're just going to allow this to continue? Or are the people going to stand up and wake up?
I was looking over my notes during the break, Miss Taylor, and I was really struck by one of your answers.
I don't know the answer to your question. I will say, Senator, I was a deputy assistant to the president. I was a commissioned officer. I took an oath, and I take that oath to the president very seriously.
I know the president said recently, he referred to our government as his government. He said, my government. Most of us always assumed it's the government of all of us, not just of one individual. It's almost a monarchy kind of question, or kind of answer that he gave, although it may explain a lot of things. And then you said, I took an oath to the president, and I take that oath very seriously. Did you mean perhaps you took an oath to the Constitution?
Yes, yeah, you're correct. I took an oth to the Constitution.
Did you take a second oath to the president?
I did not. What I should have.
So the answer was incorrect.
The answer was incorrect.
Thank you.
What I should have said is that I took an oath. I took that oath seriously, and I believe that taking that oath means that I need to respect and do respect my service to the president.
No, the oath says that you take an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States. That is your paramount duty. I know the president refers to the government as being his government. It's not. It's the government of the people of America. Your oath is not to uphold the president, nor is mine to uphold the Senate. My oath, like your oath, is to uphold the Constitution.
You see that glazed look in her eye? She almost looks like a brainwashed zombie. And this is the case for most Americans. You see, being a patriot does not mean being a blind loyalist to the president. Being a patriot means being loyal to the Constitution that is America.
The next question is for President Bush.
Now in 2004, out of all the people who could have been running for president in the United States, we were given the choice of Bush and Kerry, who are cousins and both members of the Illuminati-controlled Skull and Bones Society. Just think about this. Every president going back to 1963 was a Freemason or a Skull and Bones member. 1963 to